Yo, what's good, you guys? It's your boy Shrine. I had to drop a video here. It's a nice sunny Sunday over here in Texas. That's where I live. I live in Texas, even though you guys can tell I'm a New Yorker.
I got 100 to 100. I'm from New York, New York.
But yeah, anyway, man, the point of this video is like, I woke up today, my mind was in scramble. And it's like, there's so much products that's out right now in the DeFi space, so many forks, so many original kings of industries. It's kind of like we're playing a game of Wack O Mole, man. It's like, I never feel like I'm doing the justice and the total investment that I need in one project. I find myself looking at other projects for their potential, and I'm seeing how good they are. And then it's kind of like, bro, let's not forget about the one in the past. You know what I'm saying? You got to create like your true ones and twos. You got to kind of stick to your guns. You got to pick the ones that you think in the long run has the highest potential to make an uprise again. And to me, that's the purpose of this video, because I am aware of all these other miners. I am aware of, no, I'm not going to name no names, you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy for my content to sound like I'm trying to FUD something. Just because I'm not invested into a project, it doesn't give me the right to FUD the project, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of hard because, like, for me, it's like I really want to be realistic and give a honest perspective. With me, I'm sticking to, obviously, Drip Network. I'm sticking to all the crop farmer projects. Like, I understand how they work. They did me good in the past. Well, not so much Drip yet, because I think I bought the top of Drip, but the potential of Drip and what it has been doing in the wild, even though it's been going down, I've been able to use my Drip account to start positions in other projects without having to go to the actual bank and deposit capital. So the way I see it is like this, man. Projects like Drip and Splash, those are my personal foundation projects. Those are the projects that I think like they're like, if you can become a whale in anything, these are the projects that you want to become a whale in personally, all right? It's not just so much for its upside. It's for the time that it stretches your capital for. It always leave you with a position to make a play in the DeFi space. Now, granted, if the price ranges do go up, that's good, but you can still make money in these projects without the actual, the market cap being up. So that's what I like about these projects personally. What I love about the yield farmer projects, right? And look, man, I know it sounds like I have a bias for them, but I think my bias is actually justified. When I think of the crops farmer projects, I think of like true independence, right? Like, for example, right now, the BUSD, let's go to the BUSDcropsfarmer real quick, right? The BUSDcropsfarmer has been going down in TVL, right? And I know people's going back to inflation is kicking in, and people have this, they have a problem with inflation. I made a whole series talking about the inflation and why it's necessary, all right? The inflation, the reason why it's even in place is to keep the contract balance from ever being able to zero out. That's the purpose of the inflation, is to keep the contract balance from having to zero out, okay? So to me, I don't personally have a problem with the inflation. I see it as a necessary tool. And sometimes it can be over exaggerated, but it's up to you to consistently play the game. I came up with this thing called a cash flow strategy, where it's like, instead of putting a large lump sum into a miner, you put in a small amount, because let's do common sense, man. These miners, these APRs on these miners, the average APR is like 8%. You got some miners, they stretch it out, they give you longevity, they're doing 3%. You got some miners doing 2%, and that's cool, right? But the 8% for everybody is if you just take that at face value, it's unrealistic. So to me, it makes sense to put in a smaller amount, because the smaller amount that you're putting into something like this, like the Crops Farmer project, that small amount that you're putting in is being stretched for 8% daily return, which means that you can ROI faster on something like this than you could in other projects, because the return on investment is just that much higher. But it comes with a double-edged sword. The double-edged sword is this. Because you can ROI faster, these projects could drain faster, especially if people are not playing it the right way. That means these projects, they survive on the consistency of income coming into their system. So to me, I look at these as my capital incubator. You know what I'm saying? This is where I go to stretch my capital out to have more investment capital that I can jump back into other projects with, you know? And I'm not saying that you guys have to jump into BUSDcropsfarmer. What I'm saying applies to all miners, man. There's other miners doing their thing right now. I think right now it's looking like, hey, the people have spoken and people want auto compound miners. Me personally, I don't care about no auto compound miner because I'm always, to me, it's my due diligence to wake up every day. It's my duty to wake up every day and check up on my income anyway. I know some of you guys are working and stuff like that. And hey, if that's for you, then that's for you. For me, it's like, look, man, I used to day trade stocks and I had to wake up at the bell. I had to set the alarm. I knew the bell was gonna ring over here in Texas at what? It rang at 8, I think, in Texas. So I had to wake up very early and stuff. In New York, it's like an hour ahead. I knew I had to wake up early to do that. So for me to have to set a timer to come in or flip my phone open, hit the compound button, that's not a problem for me personally, guys. So, but different strokes, different folks. But, go back to over here, man. Things like drip, things like splash, these are the foundational pieces. And then you got to think, I know there's a lot of clones coming out. There's a lot of people there doing this, their twists. They're adding, they're coming out with protocols that it's like, yeah, you can stick and get your 1%, but you can also have a rebase token on the side so you can make it 3%. To me, all I see it as drip. I see that as a Seifu, and they try to slap it together. But the reason why I'm not so, crazy right now to jump into these projects, I have multiple reasons that cross my mind, but to jump into some projects that operate in that way is like you kind of have to invest in multiple assets at a time, where it's like, you're not able to just focus on one thing. You kind of have to, it's kind of like splitting hairs because, I want to boost the position that's doing the 2%, right? But I also want to make sure I build the foundational structure on the side that's giving me 1%. So for me, it's like, nah, that's not one of my things. But what drip and splash, what they both got going on for them is quite interesting because they're about to really push forward with the gambling aspect of DeFi, which is perfect for those type of protocols because these protocols have a very slow bleed, right? Drip, it pays you 1% a day. You get 1% from drip a day. So, depending on how much the scratch tickets are going to be for drip, if you're investing in drip, that gives you opportunity to keep playing the game. You know what I'm saying? And who knows, you might actually win that lottery. You might actually win the scratch off. They got the scratch off right here, guys. I know you guys seen this thing, but just bringing it up. Both the dogs and the drip is going to have this feature, right? But here's another thing. Here's what Splash got going for it, guys. And to me, it's big. It's huge. It's huge. You got this thing right here, guys. I don't know if you guys seen this video right here, but this is the roulette that they're gonna come out with, right? Graphics looking clean. Bro, I'm about to download a roulette game to start practicing because I never played roulette personally. So I'm about to download a roulette game just so I can get used to playing it. But this is huge to me. I just have to play this just in case if you guys haven't seen this video. But look, let me pause this, man. Let me take this off, man. Now, there's no doubt, right? I think personally, Drip been out first, is doing 1%. Drip have a whole lot more users in this protocol right now. There's a whole lot of people that's using Drip, right? So I would say Drip has a potential to do higher numbers, right? But here's the thing with Splash. This is what I like about Splash. Splash only has to be half as good as Drip, Whatever drip do, splash just have to do half those numbers, and then like you're in a good position when it comes to that project, you know. So I'm not sleeping on splash. And another thing with splash is this, man. Like, look at the price is what's making it extremely attractive to me right now. Personally, I'm not sure about you guys, but I like to buy low. I just showed you guys what splash is coming out with, right? And look at this. Look at the price of a splash, $1.45. You know, this is mainly because, you know, there's a time period where the devs was very quiet, very hard to find. And, you know, when you're dealing with your project, you kind of have to be very engaging. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I struggle with that because the project is amazing. If drip is good, splash is good. What makes drips, the only advantage drip has over splash is the number of users and the YouTubers that promotes it. So it has a large, consistent campaign going on for drip, but splash is literally the same thing. It pays you out 2% daily. All right. Both I consider to be very sustainable because if people were able to make miners pay out 8% for a couple of months, I say splash can do 2%. I don't think that's unrealistic. It can do 2% daily. And remember, it's capped. It's 2%, max of 300%. So it's a sustainable strategy. It's something that could be pulled off, you know. So for me, guys, look, man, right now, as of this week, I'm gonna stick to my handful of protocols. Right now, for me, like I said, it is gonna be splash, it's gonna be drip, it's going to be avarice, and of course the yield farm from the Crops Farmer project, along with the fact that I'm actually in the miner right now. The miner, guys, I'm gonna make another video covering this. I know a lot of people having that, you know, oh, the miner is going down. Guys, remember I told you about the inflation, right? With the inflation, the stronger the inflation, the stronger the buying power. So when the inflation wasn't going down so dramatically, it made sense to start taking profit. You know what I'm saying? As you guys can see, I took $500 worth of profit, and I still got more to take out from the system before I ROI. But I'm playing the long-term game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too crazy about just like, I'm not just gonna like forget about this thing. No. To me, I'm gonna do cash flow again with this. I'm gonna do cash flow because I know now that since the inflation is so puffed up, whatever I put into the system now is gonna make more money. It's gonna give me more capital. So even if my daily estimate does not necessarily increase dramatically because the inflation is pushing it down, I will at least be taking a step forward in the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make a video with these a step forward in the line analogy because I think it needs to be broken down so people could understand it. But there's somebody at all these DApp miners. He's the #1 person in the front of the line, and guess what? That person could do take the largest portion out the system for himself. You know what I'm saying? But it takes money to make money, so you're not gonna be in the front of the line just hitting the compound button. I promise you that, and that goes for any miner that exists. So anyway, man, guys, look, let me know in the comments what projects is your ones and twos. What's your top 5 projects? I think it's important to actually list that. What's your top 5 projects? And you know, and stick to your strategy. Don't deviate from it. Every market go through its ups and downs. You guys should know that by now. Every market go through its ups and downs. So you have to feel confident in your investment to make an investment when the market is down and not look at it as where's everybody else going. Because if you keep making your investment based on where everybody else is going, you're going to keep playing Wack O Mole forever. And then all you're going to have is a bunch of projects that don't have enough capital in it that when it finally takes off, it's going to be worth it. So that's my mentality. That's where I'm at with it. And guys, don't get distracted. Stick to your guns. There's going to be a billion gazillion projects coming out. Stick to your guns. I'm sticking with Splash, Drip, Crops Farmer projects, and right now, Avarice. That's it, guys. Peace out and stay blessed.